students, today we are going to talk about our first practical lesson, which will be on better English pronunciation. First, you need to know the lesson outline. In this lesson, we'll try to present the textbook, how to recognize the book and the author, some problems in pronunciation, like speech versus writing, letters and sounds, native language versus foreign language, and how these affect the better English pronunciation. The textbook here for the first year students at the Colleges of Arts is Akana's Better English Pronunciation. This book proves to be very useful and interesting, and if one follows the steps suggested in this book, you will see that it will be so helpful. This is the new edition, and in order to know whether it is really a new edition, we need to know that the first publication of this book was made in 1967. Then it was the second edition, which appeared in 1980. But because the book is so useful, it was reprinted and reprinted to the extent that in 1988 there appeared the 10th printing of this book. Nowadays, we have the 35th printing, which appeared in 2013. Accordingly, you can imagine the significance of the book and how is it useful for most of the students of learning English as a foreign language all over the world. Of course, the book was published by Cambridge University Press. As far as the author is concerned, he is J.D. O'Connor. He was born on December the 10th, 1919, and he grew up in Harrogate, a town in North Yorkshire in England. He was so serious and was so ambitious. Therefore, he came to University College of London in 1937. There, he did very well, and I am sure you as well can do very well and can be someone like him. So, he had made such a very nice impression on those who taught him French phonetics. Amongst them was the greatest phonetician, Daniel Jones. In 1945, Daniel Jones, the founder and the head of the Department of Phonetics at the UCL, succeeded in arranging his early demobilization and appointed J.D. O'Connor to the teaching staff. Then the career of J.D. O'Connor began. That was J.D. O'Connor when he was young. That's Professor J.D. O'Connor, and this is a recent photo before he died on July the 15th, 1998. Such a nice book and such a fruitful life that the author has represent a good example of those who are so ambitious and who wants to work hard in order to make their own scientific reputation and future career. As for the purpose of the book, according to the book itself in the foreword, J.D. O'Connor stated that the book was mainly designed to enable you, the reader, to pronounce English better than you do now. The key word here in this statement is the word pronounce. So what kind of skill is pronouncing here? We need to know that language has 4 basic skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Amongst these skills, this book seems to be on developing the first 2 skills, listening and speaking. So it is not a book of reading or writing. The question here, what kind of problems that learners of English could face when they first encounter English? Of course, in order to understand these difficulties, we need to look at the 2 languages, our native tongue and the English language as a foreign language. And by identifying these difficulties, we can overcome them. And if we overcome them, we are making our pronunciation better. Some of these difficulties are related to common facts on language. For example, there is a big difference between speech and writing. You know, speech is basically designed in order to make noises, disturbances in the circumstance in which we use our organs of speech. We do not use hands, we do not even use eyes, because speech frees our bodies to do so many things while we are speaking. But in writing, we need to use our hands, we need to use certain tools, and we need to think of, for example, making eye contact, reading carefully while we are writing. Writing might be accompanied with a speech. So someone might read aloud while he is writing. And this is a matter of speaking and writing as well. These are the main differences. The main difference between speech and writing is the use of letters versus sounds. And when we come to this particular point, we see that a letter is a characteristic of writing, while speech is a characteristic of sound. If we think of writing, we are using symbols to be written on papers or on boards. But if we are thinking of speech, we are going to make sounds. This kind of duality represents a source for difficulty in learning a new language and even learning the native language, because there is no one-to-one correspondence between letters and sounds. In English, for example, we have a total of 26 letters, but we have an average of 4 to 4, according to the received pronunciation English, 4 to 4 sounds. These sounds might, in a way, be 36 in some dialects and accents, or might increase as many as 52. The average is 4 to 4. In making sounds, we may use different letters together. For example, in order to make th or th, I need to use th. And sometimes, in order to make k or ch, I need to use ch. 2 letters to make 1 sound. Some sounds are similar in their pronunciation to the pronunciation of letters, but this is not always the case. For example, the letter C is pronounced as s, but in certain occasions it is k. So it is a difficult situation for learners of English to realize when they want to speak depending on writing because of this. There is no one-to-one correspondence between the two. In addition, there are differences between our English as a foreign language and our native language as speakers of Arabic. And sometimes even we can go deeper and to think of the kind of differences among the different varieties within the same language. So there are so many Englishes, and there are so many Arabic varieties among Arabic speaking countries all over the world. So by identifying these problems, we believe that we will be able to make our pronunciation better. In a comparison between Arabic and English, we can give certain examples. In this comparison, we will see that there are sounds that are found in Arabic but not found in English, and vice versa. There are sounds that are found in English but not found in Arabic. If we add this difficulty to the difficulty of missing one-to-one correspondence within the same language, we can realize how speech differs from writing. And accordingly, we can also realize, as the example, the different systems or the different phonetic symbols or the different sounds we are using in every language. Here we have 4 pairs of sounds in English. There are sounds that are found in English but not found in Arabic. In English we have 2 bilabial sounds, which are p and b. But in standard Arabic, we have only one, which is b. Students of learning English as a foreign language, Arab students, of learning English as a foreign language, basically face a difficulty in pronouncing words just like copybook, in which they make the 2 sounds p and b one single, which is b. Instead of saying copybook, they say copybook. And if they pay attention to the way we pronounce the p will affect their pronunciation, and they say copybook. So either they make it b, copybook, or p, copybook. If this is not found, things will be easier. And if we think of the sounds that are parallel in both languages, for example, we have both found in Arabic and English. For example, as in thin, thunder. In Arabic we have thamar, thimar, as in this, these, those. In Arabic we have ذلك, ذنب, ذئب, ذهب. Because this sound is, or these 2 sounds are found in English and Arabic, we don't have any difficulty. Another example is the use of f and v. F and v in English, but there is one single sound as a counterpart in Arabic. It is the f. Whenever an Arab student wants to pronounce the English v, he will change it into f. So instead of saying viber, he will say fiber. And instead of saying cover, he will say kafar. And cover is used in Arabic to mean cover. It is the same. Another example is the n and n. N and n. These 2 sounds are found in English, but in Arabic we have but one single sound, which is the n sound. As students who wants to say sitting will be using the wrong sounds and say sitting, sitting. And sometimes we add the j at the end, we say sitting. You see? So these are problems in pronunciation that are related to the differences between Arabic and English, in addition to the differences in the 2 different systems of writing and speaking, and the lack of correspondence between letters and sounds. What we did in this lecture is that we first introduced the book. Then we introduced the author. This is for a kind of experience to the academics to make use of, to students of academia to make use of, because this book and this author are good examples for someone to be something like. And then we move to talk about pronunciation problems in pronunciation relating to the differences between languages, the differences between the sound systems and the writing systems within the different languages and within the same language. And we also talked about the difference between letters and sounds. For next time, I want you to prepare something to prepare yourself to present a rapid review of what we have already had, and this will be made by going to the table of contents, all within the introduction. I am after teaching you how
the table of
to
contents.
go through the section. Scan it,
You will see
skim it, and sum it up in forms of points. The points you go and pick up from the text will be brought into the lecture. I will ask you next time about them, and these will be under discussion and will be enriched. After having the notes of the lecture, adding them to what you've already summed up, you can have your own paper of lecture in a form of an essay or note or whatsoever. These will be so useful for you for the next time to come. Then, for next time, I want you to try to answer the following question. How can this written book help us make our pronunciation better? J.D. O'Connor said that this book is not for reading and writing. It is for speaking and listening, but it is written. If you go to the section 1.2, Lend Me Your Ear, you will see the steps or what to do in order to develop your speaking skills. At the end, do not forget, if you cannot smile, you can draw a smile on others' faces, like this, or this, or maybe this. Thank you for your attendance.